cho em xin để cái này
bấm được cái này để cho nó to lên.
để có được.
Nó không to lên.
Giờ nó lên to.
Okay. So first of all, I'm coming from JNT. JNT is a consultant firm and a supportive company who support other startup company for legal consulting or other advisory services. The presenter, myself, my name is Willie Nguyen. I'm Singaporean born Vietnamese. I'm from the technology background and financial, meaning I worked for IBM Singapore about 20 years ago before coming back to Vietnam and work in the financial institution. And lately, about nearly 10 years, I'm in the blockchain industry in Vietnam and other countries. So today, again, I would like to talk about the legal landscapes about blockchain in Vietnam and how Vietnam adopts it and how it affects other parties in locally to work and to have any interest in Vietnam. And since you are here, I guess that most of us already understand about the attractive and emerging market about Vietnam that we have in the top market by adoption for blockchain or crypto with about more than 20 million users. Actually, unofficial number about the users in Vietnam last year was 26 million. And officially this year to be in the statistic is 21 million. Even though we are number 3 in terms of absolute numbers, but in terms of the ratio to the population, Vietnam is number 2, only after UAE, which we have about more than 20% of the population, which is in blockchain, or at least have one wallet. And for the builder landscape, one of the interests of the startup village, startup team here is about builders. In Vietnam, we have thousands of projects. Many of them are quite famous in worldwide. Many blockchain developers. 5,000 is official number, but we have, I believe, more than at least twice of this number. And we have famous projects like RC Infinity, the GameFi, maybe one of the first project which made Vietnam well known for the crypto project, which already got up to 7 billion market cap in 2021. And Kyber Network, which owned one of the very first DX, even before Uniswap, and of course long before Cake or Pancake Swap and Sushi Swap and other protocol for DX. Mirai Labs, Coin98, U2U, and other famous firms already well known in the world. And I would say Vietnam, and especially the Vietnam government, has been more and more friendly with blockchain and crypto. For several years, the government has been researching and issued the step-by-step kind of regulations and preparation to adopt blockchain and crypto into Vietnamese activity, and even more than that, to attack it to be one part of the economy. First, 5 years ago, Vietnam issued the decision 749 about the National Digital Transformation Program, which has a lot of ambition. Inside this one, there is the preparation to push the digitalization in Vietnam, which we'll expect to be this year, to have about 20% of the economy contributed from the digital economy, digital industry. And even toward 2030, that percentage contributed to economy is about 30% of the GDP. This is very ambitious target to achieve. That's why last year, Vietnam also issued Decision 1236 about the national strategy for application and development of blockchain technology by 2025, this year. So inside this decision, which has the thing that may affect everyone sitting here, the three main things. It has, firstly, to encourage the infrastructure to build the blockchain in Vietnam. Secondly, it prepares for the legal framework, which we will see the main content of the talk today. And thirdly, it encourages the ecosystem for the blockchain and crypto, like our community here and other similar activities to happen in Vietnam. And I would say it means that the activity like this is very much welcome to happen in Vietnam, not only from now, but from last year already. And the third step, just issued last month, is a resolution number 5 on pilot program, which define clearer things to pilot and give a sandbox, which I will talk in details in the later slides. And January next year will be the application of the law on digital technology industry. It will be a little bit broader than our blockchain scope. It talk about AI industry, it talk about Servicon industry, and it includes also blockchain to inform and to issue the granting, the support, the encouragement for all the builders and all the investors to come to Vietnam and to implement the projects and the business in Vietnam, including good legal framework, including the simplification of the paper process, including the tax support for all the builders to come to Vietnam. So I start to talk about the resolution 05 and the scope about it is about the thing in the digital assets, which is our interest, crypto assets. And it is very clear inside the definition, Vietnamese definition about crypto assets. It divides crypto assets into crypto assets backed by real world assets and other cryptocurrency, including normal crypto, including NFT, including utility tokens, including meme, coins, including all others to be the second category. And in digital assets, there are virtual assets, there are other digital assets, will not be the main focus of the resolution 05. And in this, it also talks very clearly to exclude the security and the digital forms of fiat and other financial assets. The reason is that all these things are already included in other laws. So in this resolution, it will not overlap in other laws which already define those things. So about the scope, I will stop for about 1 minute to check which one here will be considered as digital asset to be scoped in resolution number 5. Firstly, for Bitcoin, Mr. May, can you help me to define if Bitcoin is included in resolution number 5? Yes, yes. And USDT? Okay. You think that USDT is not? Anyone think that USDT will be included in resolution number 5? No, no. Yes, who say yes? Okay, yes. Yeah, this is interesting. May I know why you say USD should be something considered as cryptocurrency?
I think USDT 90%. I think it is because I think it's backed by the T bond, by the Treasury, by the US Treasury bond. So I think it's backed by real world assets. That's why it's in this program. But for some other stable coin, which is not backed by real world asset, it will have like algorithm stable coin and maybe not.
Thank you so much. So this is very important because it relates to us if later we want to trade, we want to exchange, we want to use all these one inside Vietnam. It must be included in resolution number 5. Otherwise, we may be fined due to kind of not allowed to trade or to use it in Vietnam. The answer 90% is yes. 90%. We still need to wait for other detailed instruction. But from the understanding of the resolution number 5, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 is within resolution number 5. The number 4 is clearly excluded. It is dividend token. And the number 5, what are RWA and how to tell which crypto assets are backed by RWA. Mr. Hill already just gave an answer, example for that. So the first one to take away from this, who will be affected after this resolution number 5? I would say we can separate into 4 parties. The first one, all the crypto asset service provider will be affected, including the exchange, marketplace, launchpad, wallet, and other crypto service provider in Vietnam, working in Vietnam, provide the service to Vietnamese user. All the users inside Vietnam will be affected. The second one is issuing organizers. Maybe this is us here, the builders. When we build and we issue the tokens from last month and before that, no problem. I wouldn't say no problem, but there was no regulation to define it, to regulate it. But from that last month, we cannot say it anymore because the regulation already defined this activity of issuing token in Vietnam from now. The third one will be investor, including the local one and the foreign investors and other related parties I would mention in the later slides. So here we say first for the issuing organizers, the builders, the project owners. When you want to issue the token in Vietnam or for Vietnamese market users, without the word not applicable to Vietnamese market, then they must have at least 2 conditions. The first one, the issuer must be a Vietnamese entity, which means that you need to organize, incorporate a company, Vietnamese company in Vietnam, and use that entity to issue the token. And second one, more importantly, the issue crypto assets must be backed by a real world asset, meaning that it cannot be algorithm, it cannot be a meme, it cannot be something doesn't have any guarantee or mortgage. The things here must have something to back it by the real world asset. It has a value. It can be exchangeable to money or other type of assets. And the second important one is about the exchange. It will be very strict to have our crypto to be exchanged in Vietnam sometimes later. And the definition and the requirement is that new issue crypto can only be offered to foreign investors. And after that, only transacted by foreign investors on the license exchange. That exchange to be licensed by the Vietnamese government. So it is not only that you issue the token by Vietnamese entity, you need to issue it to the foreign investors. And we must have some way, that is the responsibility of the builders, to identify, to KYC that the purchaser will be the foreign investors. And after that, the foreign investor need to transfer the token to the license exchange in Vietnam and to be transacted there. And our token, the future token, will be marked to be the new issue token and to be purchased by another foreign investors. So this is, let me explain, a very careful step of the government to protect not only the investor, but to make sure that all the builders will be instructed and to have a very good preparation to issue the token and the project letter. And thirdly, about the exchange. This is a very interesting one. This is one of the biggest focus and content in this resolution about the exchange, including the centralized or decentralized. From this time of issuing this resolution, the government requires that all the transactions in Vietnam must be through the license exchange. And we assume that all those exchanges means centralized exchange. They will have only maximum 5 licenses to be granted, with the requirement for the application to have the capital at least 380 million US dollars. And more importantly, it needs to be incorporated from the financial guys and the technology guys, even though there is an or. But it encourages that the institution to build exchange in Vietnam need to have the very deep knowledge and capability of both finance and technology, with at least 65% are from institutional shareholders, meaning that the individuals will not have a lot of ground to play here. And at least 35% charter capital by at least 2 shareholders coming from the financial institution or from the technology companies, which already have the experience in this blockchain area. So this is another careful step of the government to build a very safety environment for Vietnam. And the third one, the foreign ownership must not exceed 49%. This is a normal regulation for the new industry in most of the country, and other compliance and business requirements. So those are the 3 main areas that are defined in the resolution number 5 about the issuance of the new token, about the exchange of the new token, and about exchange itself. And we can see, compare the regulation in Vietnam with United States, with Europe, and with Singapore, the famous 3 markets which encourage crypto and blockchain. We see that in United States, it is still very long argument to categorize blockchain and crypto to be stock, to be digital assets, to be advertised. And in each state in United States, they still have different regulation for that. And mainly it is still very fragmented and not kind of single and common law for crypto in US. In European, in opposite, it is very detailed, comprehensive, and I would say not really friendly for the crypto project to deploy in Europe. A lot of certificates and permission, similar to other industries in Europe. It is not the one thing to be complicated in Europe. In Singapore, Singapore is very special and interesting case that they focus in the financial and payment aspect of the crypto to facilitate and automate all the payments and other transaction types to make it easier for finance. That is the biggest adoption in Singapore. And for other things, Singapore still not very open and welcome yet for crypto. Still until now, Binance is not welcome in Singapore yet, since Binance, about 5 years ago, they opened Binance.sg to be a sandbox and try there. But after that, they closed because they didn't cooperate with government requirement. Until now, Binance does not appear and present in Singapore. But in Vietnam is at early phase, but already shows very warm welcome to invite and to open the market for adoption for crypto with the kind of this sandbox. I would say very much kind of encouraging the builders to join and to await the later more open of the regulation in Vietnam. So this is a summary of what I just mentioned, detailed in the previous slides. For the crypto assets issue offering, you need to have RWA-backed assets, and it including tokenized assets like real estate that can be issued, and it must be issued through a license issuing platform, which has a party to issue it. So this is another important key for builders to remember, that we can no longer do ICO through our own website. It no longer exists, but we will issue our token through some platform which has a license to issue for the projects. And the crypto assets can only be purchased and transacted by foreign investors. Second one is from a licensing exchange with strict requirements about capital ownership and other compliance rules. And third one will be also interesting. For the transaction of the crypto, we must go through the license exchange. But if you don't want to do any transaction, you don't want to sell, you want to hold our Bitcoin until $1 million US. So what should we do? We don't have to do anything. We still can keep it on Binance or NoCash on any exchange, or we can keep on our Web3 wallet. We don't need to transfer to any exchange or any custody provider, as long as we don't do any transaction. But from the time we start to sell it, or we do any kind of exchange using our own crypto, we must transfer it to the licensed exchange to do the transaction. So that is a requirement from the resolution number 5. So we would very easy to understand where the government comes from for this condition and requirement. Two things. The first one is for anti-money laundering, to remove that, try to remove that. And the second thing, clearer, to get the tax. So all the transactions on the exchange, we incur some tax payable to the government. And that's why the requirement is to transfer to the exchange to the transaction. So the last part is about the impact. Which impact are the related party, including our builders here? Obviously, it gives the opportunities and challenges. For broader things is for the whole digital economy. This step is one of the progress within the series of the activities by the government to hit the target of bring the economy toward the digital economy in 2030, with 30% of GDP contributed by digital economy. And also to protect the crypto investors. I assume that you also read about kind of the incidents lately within these 2 weeks about one of the famous guys and other famous projects to be pinpoint about the things that make the crypto investor lost a lot of money. So this resolution is to protect that and to move toward a dynamic and innovative environment with the attraction to the capital institution and financial institution, not only from overseas, but also from internally. You will see that previously there was no interest from the traditional financial institution, but suddenly there have been several applications from the biggest guys in Vietnam, prepare for nearly $500 million to prepare for this game. And it will not be a small thing for small guys anymore. The challenge, of course, the legal framework is still at the beginning. So that's why we can only open the sandbox and to try and observe and to think about how to put the new regulation on this area, the global harmonization and the balancing between the compliance and innovation. So going back to our thing, that is for the government, that is for the country, that is for the guys, but we are the builders. Then how this affect our own pocket here, the builders? We will see here for the last financial institution, they will join the competition to open the exchange. I assume that no one here has interest in giving the 380 million to run for the exchange. So we will be in the later parts of the affected parties here, which provide the services for crypto and blockchain. And we have to comply with the new framework. And some of the services may cease to provide the service in Vietnam after this, like the exchange, as I mentioned. And the interesting thing here is other services. Is there any impact in other services? The answer for now is no. There is no regulation or kind of restriction for other services like audit service. We still can do the audit service here. We can do kind of consultant service. We can do kind of other application services using blockchain for our clients or to build the projects here, as long as we haven't issued the token yet. So nothing affected yet. The impact to the Vietnamese Blockchain Association. This is the third pillar between the government, the enterprise, and the association. The Vietnam Blockchain Association is very active in Vietnam, very proactive, and they changed immediately their name to Vietnam Blockchain and Digital Assets Association. So in Vietnam, we used to call crypto, it is not cryptocurrency. We call it, the people call it virtual assets, meaning something not real, something kind of like thinking immediately about scam, like in the air assets. So that's why a small change of the name here is very important to so start from now, the government and the whole country and the adoption start to see crypto as an asset. And it is a special type of asset, digital assets. And there is a question about holding Bitcoin on Exchange B. I wouldn't say Binance. What should I do? What should you do if you have one Bitcoin? I hope everyone here has one Bitcoin to hold until 1 million US value, and you can keep it there. You can keep it there still until you need to sell it to invest into your own project building here today. So that is the most important about the regulation in this resolution number 5, and it will last for 5 years with the observation very closely from the government, and our community of builders are free to give suggestions or to give feedback to the government for often and frequently change and update to this resolution, so that it will support the whole community of builders and other crypto and blockchain providers in Vietnam and from overseas to come and to work in Vietnam. As long as we understand very well and clear about the regulation, to give already a legal framework for us to stay and work in Vietnam. And the last slide will be about what we can have for those aspects that JNT is a consultant firm which can help you all the aspects to work in Vietnam, to do the activities in Vietnam. Firstly, like this session, to introduce and let you understand very detailed about all the things you need to know to do the business here. And even with the later steps, like when you are ready to issue or to provide the services in Vietnam, you can incorporate the company either here or in other countries in order to obey and to follow the real clear and detailed instruction by the law in Vietnam, and also to advise how to do the best business with the effectivity in Vietnam. And this is a contact for everyone who is interested in that to work in Vietnam. And this will end my introduction. And I hope that you can take some key takeaway about the new and latest regulation in Vietnam before January next year, when the law is officially applicable to blockchain project and to all the builders as well. Thank you very much.
My first question is I'm sorry you make it easier to understand, but I still don't get it. My first question is, suppose that I build a data service platform and I sell data analysts to other traders. Am I affected?
Thank you so much. So this is one of the very big concern from the builders, from developer and service provider. I would say only 3 parties affected are the exchange. You don't do the exchange, so we are not affected.
Okay.
The second one is a builder who issue the new token affected. We are not, so we are not affected. The last one is the investors want to transact, then must transact all the exchange. Or want to buy the new issue token, then you must be foreign investor. Those are the 3 parties affected.
Okay.
So the fourth one is yours, not affected. You provide the services for blockchain and you continue to provide that services. It is not defined in this resolution number 05 until further detailed instruction.
Okay. So second question, if let's say I issue my time on blockchain. So I don't build that. The scenario is I build a platform in somewhere in the US and I issue my time. So someone can buy the token and then can spend some time with me for consultant or anything. Am I affected as a user? And the second thing is like, if I build that platform, am I affected?
Okay. So if you stop at a platform, you are not affected. But if you issue the token and you issue from US, then you need to state very clearly the not included countries, and that has Vietnam in the exclude country. You need to state it very clearly, and you should inform all the affiliates that don't engage Vietnamese market.
Okay.
Officially.
Okay. So
unofficially,
yeah. Okay.
If Vietnamese users still want to buy your token, then it's their job. Okay.
Okay, so that is for me as a token issuer, right? If I use the platform that's in the US and I issue my own token. So, okay, that's one. If I build the platform, am I affected? if I build a platform for other people to issue their time on blockchain, which is like not a real world asset, am I affected?
If your platform is for issuing the token in Vietnam, you need to have license.
If I
You
exclude,
have the platform in other country, so you are not affected.
okay,
But you need to also mention that your new issue token for other projects not include Vietnam.
So it's about registering your legal entity.
Yes, and also to KYC your investor as well. You must ensure that the one who purchased is not Vietnamese investor.
I have a question because recently I see a lot of projects from the previous cycle, for example, Axie Infinity. So basically, they are a very good gaming project. That token went to $150, but now they are $2, and people are calling it scam. And I don't know who sold it. Maybe the team sold it. I don't know, or maybe foreigner entities sold it. But what I'm asking is, are they violating the rule, or because the retail users, they are wired in their head that if the token price goes down, it's a scam, and it will create a bad reputation for projects. So, are they affected by recent regulations or something?
Okay, thank you very much. So this is a very, very heavy question. That they will have no clear answer for this. But I would say, from my point of view, firstly, we need to differentiate from the regulation obeyed and from the ethical activities. Even if the debt sell it or already sold it, but they had the right to sell it, so it is only the ethical one. They put their kind of benefit above the community benefit, but they didn't violate any law, even though it will kill the project. So I would say in that case, like AHS, Axie,
Yeah.
even though the price can go down by 99% from the ATH all-time high of $125 down to even several dollars, right? $3-4. They didn't violate any law, so it is not a scam from my point of view. But if a new token, a latest token, already give the commitment about keeping the token, but later they don't, or they put a roadmap to build, to give the chance to other purchaser to buy, but they didn't finish the commitment of the roadmap, or they say someone is very much related, they get the investment from a very famous one to build the brand and the trust, but turn out it is not real. So they violate, and actually the law already mentioned and indicated as cheating clients. And it is a big thing. It is a violation.
But the problem with commitment recently is that even if the team made some commitment, it will usually be in the form of a Twitter post or some MOUs. So is it legally effective, or does it violate any rule? Even if they violate it, can the government exercise on it?
Okay. The key thing here is not to make consequence. If you do something not very right, but there is no consequence, it should be fine. If you do some blurting and the consequence is heavy, then it's hard to say that you are right. And in any country, if you are not supposed to be right, very easy for you to be wrong.
Okay, I got it.
So it is still in the gray area, and better that we do the right thing from the beginning. And later we have all the evidence that we try our best already, but other external conditions are not very supportive, and then the project is down. It's not because of us. We can show our wallet that we never sold any single token, and then it's still down, and then it's not because of us. But if we sell millions of US dollar value token and we say it's not only me to sell and other people to sell, and then it's not easy to say that we are right.
I would like to know your opinion on the obligation of Vietnamese to only make transaction on licensed crypto exchange. Isn't there a problem with, let's say, DeFi or even them deploying on mainnet whenever they want to, let's say, try their product, or they will have to make a transaction and now they're doing something illegal?
Okay, it means the exchange guys after they get the license.
So it means that every transaction that is not on a licensed crypto exchange, any kind of transaction is illegal, right?
Okay, so in the resolution, it says that 6 months from the time the first exchange has license, within 6 months, you need to transfer your crypto assets into that exchange and exchange and do the transaction there. So if you still exchange outside of that, incur a lot of value on the transaction, and you get caught, and you may be in the problem. Because every transaction, you need to pay some tax to the government. So it will link to kind of the tax obligation not to be fulfilled.
Yeah, yes, but it's not just the tax aspect. Because for example, in other countries, you can declare your transaction on chain, whatever DeFi you do. But now it's making illegal transactions that are not on listed licensed or crypto exchange. So it means everything that's DeFi or on chain is illegal. Only centralized exchange, I guess, or.
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
But won't they perhaps miss on a lot of the value they're trying to get for taxes and from people that would hide their transaction, because there's so much more happening on chain than it's not very interesting to use crypto exchanges, centralized exchange. I mean,
that's right. It is not legal for now. I understand your concern. Actually, like we all run all the way here, but at the start, at the beginning, the government just define this road only. It is a safe road, and everyone should be here to run inside here. It does not mean it will be forever, but it's just for now first. And other type on-chain exchange here will be regulated later, when the government understands more how to control and manage it, and how to regulate the new law for the on-chain transaction. Then we have the law.
Yeah, but isn't 5 years very long? Because and why would someone from Vietnam launch a product on chain for Vietnamese people? I mean, they won't, because it's illegal for them. So they have to target another market. And so why would they even stay in Vietnam if they want to make a product on chain?
Now, you mean the product want to issue the token on chain, and the Vietnamese users exchange on chain for that token?
But you cannot really target the Vietnamese people because it's illegal for them to use your product. Yeah.
Officially, and obviously, if you come here, you open conference, you introduce about this your token, and encourage people to buy and transact it, it will violate the regulation. But if you issue it from a foreign country and you say Vietnamese user should not attend, but I am Vietnamese user, I still attend, and I will not be protected by the Vietnamese law, by this law, but I still can.
So it's possible for them to use it? And they're on risk of being...
If they know how to use it, your responsibility should not enter Vietnam, and should have maybe some boundary for Vietnamese user not to be able to use your token or transact it. If they try to overcome your firewall, and then it is their responsibility, not yours. But if you do anything to encourage them, and then you need to obey the Vietnamese laws.
Okay.
Is this very clear?
It is clear, but then also it's such a shame that, as you said at the start, that Vietnamese people are most in other countries, they're blockchain savvy, and you cannot really target them technically, right?
I would say it is not conflict, like I mentioned. This is at a very, very beginning. So it creates a safe way to go first. Maybe just 6 months later, the government has the capability to understand more. So they will have a new regulation for this.
So resolution account. This is we have
No, exactly.
No, it's just not.
Okay. Yeah. To talk about it, yeah, it's very nice explanation. This is to prepare for the law, and in order for the lawmaker to understand more, they need to put some sandbox. And this resolution is issued by the government, not the National Assembly, to put and encourage other builders. Hey, come here and do all the things and let the things happen. So I observe, I understand, and I issue the law to help you and support you. So it is not to prevent you. It is just to focus here, to concentrate here first, to understand.
If I can put that in other words, technically this is a sandbox for people who want to like do regulated things, or they want more clarity in terms of law. So let's say you want to build a payments company or finance company, they're setting a sandbox for that. Okay, this is the way you do legal things and everything. If you want to like in future not worry about compliance, the other thing, everything else is in gray area right now. So that's still ongoing until proper law and everything comes together, as far as my understanding.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I have a couple of questions, maybe might help others as well. Here there are 3 sections. So when you say large financial institutions, the $380 million and everything, and then you have sex index on the other side. So for me to launch a centralized exchange in India, can I work with an established license institution and launch an exchange, or there can only be 5 centralized exchanges in Vietnam who have 380 million locked each? Is it a separate license which they can pass it on to other people to use, like just for on-ramp and off-ramp? Or is it like everything to do with centralized exchange and trading?
Okay.
This one.
This is a very important question. Actually, the answer is yes. Besides this one, there is already another sandbox in Da Nang City, which is the resolution 222 with the National Financial Center. I believe Mr. I just talked to Mr. Who is it? Who is next to Mr. here, working in Da Nang. So this one is not applicable to the sandbox in Da Nang City. Your solutions can be applicable there, and they will have a separate license for your sandbox thing. And that, what is that application area? Unlimited. You can submit any project, any area, as long as you can convince them to issue you a sandbox license. Try in the limited scope, limited places, limited target of users, and already have one on-ramp of RAM like that to be granted in Da Nang a couple of months ago, 1-2 months ago already. For foreigners, tourists to come here in Vietnam, use the their Web3 wallet to pay for the traditional service.
Okay.
Already issued.
So I can tie up with them for the fiat side of things to onboard and off-ramp, and then I can build my service on top, right? And they are the ones who are doing the compliance.
They already have.
Yeah, with the sandbox. Okay. The second part, you have centralized exchange and decentralized exchange as well together. How does it apply to decentralized exchanges right now in terms of this resolution? Let's say I am a decentralized exchange, right? Am I supposed to do AML KYC, or am I supposed to have the $380 million that as well? And what are the implications of that? And then when you say DEX, plus you have DeFi as a separate thing. So what's the because that is not like, that's light blue, so it doesn't apply to that. Is there like a clear definition of what's the difference between those two?
Okay, thanks for that question. B or C are both exchange.
Yes.
So it is one.
Okay.
Yeah, it is restricted, and you need to have the license. Exchange need to have license. So again, for this very first step, decentralized is not the focus.
Okay.
But the trial, the sandbox is focused. So we can see that for the exchange, decentralized is not allowed yet in this one.
So the resolution is more about AML KYC, if I'm understanding
Yes.
right, and then obviously a custody of the funds, right?
Yes.
But how are decentralized exchanges supposed to do AML and KYC? Because they technically can't. You can access it anywhere from the world through blockchain. Like, so obviously, I understand it's in a gray area, but have they specified anything in that case or no?
I have the answer for this, but I cannot answer on behalf of the government.
Yeah.
I can only say that the government is in a learning curve, and they will learn about it in the next 6 or 12 months to think about how to give the regulation for decentralized, not only exchange, but for the users, for the services as well.
Okay. Can I
Anonymous owners or providers for that. Right now, they want anyone to be unlocked.
can I request you to go to the slide where you had the definition of digital assets, then cryptocurrencies and NFTs and all? Yeah, this one. So you're saying that only the real world assets and everything come under the resolution 5 right now, not the other crypto asset section, or is that also part of it?
Inside the red
box, everything.
are all in the resolution number 05.
Okay.
We separate because the asset backed by real assets, the crypto like that is mentioned in the new issue token.
Okay.
And the remaining is mentioned in the exchange and transaction on the license exchange.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's a utility token, technically it can be e-voucher, game points, and shopping points, anything, right? So if I just name my coin as, let's say, points, then technically I don't fall in that category because I fall in the virtual asset category.
It depends. If you call it points,
Yeah.
then it will not be in the crypto assets. But the definition of this one is the asset made by crypto technology,
Okay.
cryptographical technology.
Okay.
If you use that, it is for
So
under the crypto.
if it's blockchain, then it's probably this side. If you just like points on your database,
blockchain and you say that it is not crypto.
okay. One more, digital forms of fiat. So I was assuming that would be stable coins, but when you mentioned USDT, you said still not clear. So what do we mean by digital forms of fiat which are excluded?
Okay. We discussed about this a lot. So USDT is not a digital form of fiat. It is the stable token, stable coin backed by USD.
Okay.
The two terms are different. So the definition of backed by is that anything happen to that, this is a financial relationship, and then you have some mortgage and assets to compensate to the one holding the token and the stable coin. That is why it can keep the value because of the trust. The Luna thing happened because there was no chance anymore. When they saw no backed by any assets, the ratio is not 1:1. But the ratio can be 1:10, meaning that they have 1 billion USDT, but they have 10 billion assets. It is still backing by the real world assets. But the digital forms of fiat is that it is still the fiat, but not in the paper form, not in the digital form, but it is in the crypto form.
So
And
like
it's exchanged one-on-one.
more like CBDC, central bank digital currencies or something. So
And
anything at
this
the
one
moment.
is already in another sandbox done by Vietnam technology firm in Vietnam. They are doing this trial, and they are that is a special and another form of sandbox. No, no. Like I mentioned, stablecoin can be something backed by real asset, can be something just by algorithm, no asset at all. And the backed by is not 1:1. It's not 1:1. Like USDT, they have the mortgage by USD, by the government bond, by other real estate, and the ratio maybe they have the assets more than the value of USDT. But the digital form is 1:1. And when you use that token anytime you can go and exchange for the paper form of that fiat. The two things are different. I would say another example more clearly is about the tokenize of this building. If you tokenize this building to be 100 token, and if you purchase a full 100 token, anytime you can come here and ask for the ownership of this building. But for the buy this building, you cannot ask for that. Only when they cannot pay you that value of the 100 token, they have to sell this one and pay you the money. Owning that 100 token doesn't mean owning this building.
One last question, if nobody has that. So you mentioned that you can convert the assets as a crypto transactions, and then it has to go through the licensed or financial intermediary. And if you issue a token, you cannot sell it to the locals here, a new token, but then you can sell it to foreigners, technically, right? What if it's an old token? So what if it was launched 6 months ago? Then can the locals buy it? Or maybe it was launched globally or something. And if maybe you launched it in Vietnam 6 months ago, then does that rule apply? Because then you mentioned it's only for new tokens issued, right? What happens to anything that was launched 6 months ago?
So for your question, you mean the old token, right? The already issued token, right?
Yes.
So nothing changed. This is only applicable to the new issued token. Yeah. And for the old token like Ethereum, BNB, other things already exist like Meme, if it is allowed to be transacted on the exchange and no restrictions, no restricted.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So is there any other questions?
I have a lot. Same for me, so I'm just...
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Cái này liên quan rất nhiều đến Đà Nẵng luôn. Liên quan rất nhiều đến